the nation station, Manx Radio.
Faster Mai, a very good evening to you. This is Judith saying welcome to Today at the Guild.
Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you by SpectrumWindows.im.
Well, you know that I am a huge fan of the Guild, the Manx Music Festival, but it does just get better every day. So much variety. What have I got on the menu for you tonight? I have got some spoken word, poetry, 2 more contenders for the Sheffield Plate, 2 lovely songs for you to listen to, some fabulous instrumental solos, just fantastic, and the first of the children's choirs. So let's get started straight away. And a couple of days ago, we had various instrumental classes, played some of those at the time, but here's one that we didn't feature. And, you know, I always say to you, just because I've given you the result for a class but not necessarily played the music there and then, doesn't mean to say they're being overlooked. Certainly would not overlook the QE2 High School Wind Band. Now, this is in the class for music making for orchestras. So we have no fewer than 20 players, is the rule, no teachers, just pupils. Time limit is 15 minutes. The orchestra can use that time in whatever way they wish. And so, QE2 High School Wind Band chose to make up a little concert of 5 separate pieces. I think that Olympic spirit is an excellent way to start the programme. And that was the first part of the class-winning performance from the QE2 Wind Band and Olympic Spirit. And we'll be revisiting that. I split the performance of 5 pieces up into 5 separate tracks, and we'll listen to some of those at different points during the programme. I will say to you that those of us who remember the Shadows and Apache, wait till you hear the Wind Band's version of it. Great arrangement of it. Right, let's listen to the first of the choirs, because the children's choir classes have been divided up over a couple of days now, and the competitions for those began this afternoon in the Royal Hall. And we had boys' choirs and girls' choirs. These are for the young singers just up to Year 6. And we had the boys' choir, Buchan Falcons, and the girls' choir, Buchan Doves. We also had Sgol Valajit Choir and Balacotia Girls' Choir. And really the marking was very, very close. As the adjudicator, Penny Price-Jones, said, it was really just one song that the Buchan Doves sang. She said that really just put them literally 1 mark ahead of Sgol Valajit and Balacotia. So whilst we're going to hear from the Buchan Doves tonight, I promise you we'll be hearing from the other 2 choirs as well, because there was just so little to separate them. So let's start now with the Buchan Doves, and they sang 2 songs. Again, this was an own choice class. All the requirement was that there had to be two contrasting songs, and this is the Buck and Doves and Child of Peace. Part of the class-winning performance there from the Buck and Doves, and that was Child of Peace, their second song called Firefly, which was the one that just gained them that extra mark. We'll hear that just a little bit later in the programme. But now we're going to have a little bit of operatic magic, because we're going now to classes in the Royal Hall last night, Wednesday night. And we began the evening with the operatic duet class. And this produced a first place for Karen Elliott and Matthew Quinn. And they sang Papa 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 from The Magic Flute by Mozart. Took a win with 88 marks there. But again, the 87 marks for second place, Jane Corkill and Ruth Tickle, and 86 marks for Olivia Black and Paul Costain. So marking very, very close there. Indicates a very high standard of singing, very little really that separated them. So that was how the evening began. And then we moved on to the operatic solo class. And it was a welcome return to competition for a lady who has been away for quite a while for very good reasons. And that's Emily Coates. Now, who could forget Emily as Christine in The Phantom of the Opera when it came here to the Gaiety stage? It was the whole thing. It was just a spell. You see, I'll just get the teeth engaged in gear, and the brain hopefully will follow. It was just a spellbinding performance, really was. And then Christine, Emily, having done that, was very busy with her teaching career. She's a teacher at Ballacameen. She has at least one school choir. She may have more to her credit, but certainly I've been down and listened to her training at least one choir. And she also tutors people privately. Very busy lady, and understandably not quite so much time for her own singing. So lovely to see her back in the Guild this year and singing so well that she won the class although she wasn't in the least confident about her performance. She really wasn't. So the win with 89 marks was a very pleasant surprise for Emily Coates. The accompanist for the class is Madeleine Kelly, and Madeleine was singled out for special mention by the adjudicator last night for her hard work, because these operatic solos, everyone very, very different, and all with their own demands and disciplines for the accompanist, and so quite right that Penny Price-Jones would single Madeleine out for particular mention, for recognition for her hard work last night. She also played as the official accompanist for the operatic duet class as well. So now enjoy returning to the stage where she well belongs, Emily Coates with the embroidery aria from Peter Grimes by Benjamin Britten. Emily Coates accompanied by Madeleine Kelly. Just wonderful singing there from Emily Coates. And with that, she won the class and also won the additional prize, because in the operatic solo class, there are prizes given for the best tenor, best baritone. And I'll tell you who got the rest of those in just a moment. But Emily also was given the prize for the best soprano in that operatic solo class. There were two other classes last night in the Royal Hall, a class for music composition and a Victorian or Edwardian ballad. And you're going to hear the winners of both of those in just a second.
Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you by SpectrumWindows.im.
And the winner of the Victorian or Edwardian ballad was Terence Qualtrough. Just one mark separated Terence from second place Alan Wilcox. And it was when the Sergeant Major's on Parade, which Alan chose to sing. Terence's choice was Nirvana by Stephen Adams. And that's what we're going to listen to now. Terry won the class with 88 marks. His accompanist is Wendy McDowell.
Let me tell my love. I have knelt in the mighty temples, but the dumb gods make no sound. They cannot speak to my spirit as thy soul speaks to mine. And the priests talk of Nirvana and weave the mystic charms. I only know Nirvana within thy loving arms. I only know Nirvana within thy loving arms. Thy and the lotus flower will perish, the stars turn cold and grey, the dumb gods will be shattered, the temples old decay, but we shall be one beloved in the stream of life divine. But we shall be one, beloved, we shall be one in the stream of life divine.
Terry in such good voice. Class winner there, Terence Coltrow, accompanied by Wendy McDowell. And he won the Class for Victorian or Edwardian ballads, just pipping Alan Wilcox to the post, beating him by 1 mark. Alan in second place with 87. Now, the other class in the Royal Hall last night, in between the opera and the ballads, was the music composition class. And we had 3 very skilled composers contesting this prize. We had Madeleine Kelly with a composition called Little Bird. We had Marilyn Cannell with Whisper on the Wind. And we had Timothy Price with Trait de l'Or. The only stipulation for this composition was that the challenge was to compose a piece of music that would only require a maximum of 5 performers, and it had to be on a Manx theme. And because it is a composition class, it was the quality of the composition that was being judged by Penny Price-Jones. But also, then, to make it more meaningful for the audience, each of the pieces was performed. And I have listened, obviously, this class took place while I was doing the show last night, so I couldn't be there, but I listened to the recordings this morning, and they are 3 beautiful pieces of music, very different, which is exactly what this class is hopefully going to produce. But if more people join in it and it builds in its popularity, we're going to have a wonderful additional treasury of homegrown music. I think it's got really exciting prospects. I really do. And I will be playing the 3 pieces for you. I promise you, we're going to play the winner tonight, but I promise you I will play you Marilyn's composition, which was for piano, flute and voice, and Madeleine Kelly's composition, which is a beautiful piano piece. But we're going to listen now to the class winner. This is Timothy Price, and by the way, it's Timothy who is working literally day and night at the villa with me, doing all the recordings, and when the classes aren't going on, he's doing all the mixing of the sound and preparing the music ready for these broadcasts. He's working so hard, and he does it so quietly and so patiently, and always smiling. And he walks. He's the fastest walker I have ever seen. We can be upstairs in the top balcony of the Royal Hall, and he say, "Well, I'm just going to go down to the promenade suite." And he's there and he's back in the space of about 20 seconds. But they don't give prizes for that. But they do give prizes for composition. And here is Timothy Price's composition, Trait de l'Or. Timothy is playing clarinet, and the pianist is John Riley. Winner of the composition class, that was Tim Price playing his own piece, Très de l'Or. He was playing clarinet and John Riley was playing piano. I do hope that that class gets more support as the years go on because, as I said, I do think it will produce a rich treasury of new music. Now, how about this? A poem next. And this is going to be brought to us by Amelia Corris. Amelia won the spoken word class for Year 6, for that's 11-year-olds. And she goes to St John's Primary School, and I should say up to 11-year-olds. And she goes to St John's Primary School, and there were a choice of 2 poems here. Spider Swallowing by Brian Moses, which is a bit of a frightful thought, isn't it? But Amelia chose the other one, which is Star Turn by Francis Nagel. This is the class-winning performance from Amelia Corris.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to present on this auspicious occasion the one, the only, the amazing, the tremendous, the sensational, the 8th wonder of the world in all its phenomenal glory. My body, plus, of course, its clothes. Marvel with me, if you will, at the chambers of my heart, with their cunning one-way doors, pumping my blood around 100,000 times every single day. And don't you have to admire my more than 200 bones, 600 muscles, 25,000, yes, 25,000 cells in my brilliant brain. And for a grand finale, I request silence. Lower the house lights, please, for a live demonstration of something beyond belief. Prepare yourselves for the sight, wondrous to behold, of the stretchy waterproof bag that I've come to know as my skin. Isn't it fantastic how something so thin can hold so much in?
A worthy winner there. Thank you to Amelia Corris for the poem Star Turn. And now let's listen to a couple of lovely songs from 2 more young singers who will be competing for the Sheffield Plate on Friday evening, which is, oh goodness me, tomorrow evening.
Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you by SpectrumWindows.im.
Now, again, like the qualification for the Cleveland Medal Test, the young people have to win their solo voice class. In their cases, it's for their age range. And we're going to hear first from Erin Loach. And Erin was singing in the Royal Hall this morning, and she was singing in the girls' solo for school years 9 to 10. It's a test piece. The accompanist is Frank Woolley, and the test piece is Sweet Chance That Led My Steps Abroad. It's a song by Michael Head. And Erin took first place, and this is how she did it.
Beyond the town where wild flowers grow,
Class winner Erin Loach, accompanied there by Frank Woolley, and she took first place in the girls' solo class for years 9 and 10, and she will sing again tomorrow night in the competition for the Sheffield Plate. Now, that class was followed by the girls' solo for years 7 and 8. And that was won by Gwen Thornton with 89 marks. And that was again a test piece, Song of the Bluebell Wood. This is a composition by Betty Rowe, and I well remember Betty Rowe adjudicating some years ago at the Guild. She was very popular, lovely lady, and very, very entertaining. When I say entertaining, I mean in the best way. You know, she had lots of stories and lots of helpful advice to give to the young people, and she has written a lot of music for young people. This is one of her many compositions, and it's sung for us now by Gwen Thornton, and this is how she earned her place in the Cleveland Medal. And dear me, now that might be prophecy, mightn't it? One day Gwen might be in the Cleveland Medal final, but tomorrow night she's singing for the Sheffield Plate. Gwen Thornton and Song of the Bluebell Wood, accompanied here by Jill Collins.
Shallow slopes and spreading beneath the trees. Wherever I looked in the bluebell wood, there were shadows of apple green shadows under the leaves, where the sun could not be seen. Wherever I looked in the bluebell wood, and the gold of the sun broke through, it seemed that a sea of gold green light was dancing over the blue.
Well done to class winner there, Gwen Thornton. And this is building up into a fine competition for the Sheffield Plate tomorrow night. It's going to be an excellent night. If you can possibly get down to the Royal Hall, I would recommend it. In fact, there's two great nights, very different but excellent nights coming along, because tomorrow it's finals night, finals of the competitions. We're going to start the evening at 7 o'clock with the Sheffield Plate competition, so we'll have 9 young people who will be competing for that. Then that's going to be followed at roughly 8 o'clock by the vocal duet final. This is the mixed voice duet, the male voice duet and ladies voice duet that we were listening to on the programme last night. And then at about 8:30, that will be followed by the Cleveland Medal test. We've got 6 fine singers competing for that. And then that will be followed around about an hour later, around about 9:30, with a lovely class. This is the vocal ensemble for year 9 and over. And we have got 11 different ensembles competing there. It's an own choice. And so there's lots of variety. I'm just quick look at the list now. There's lots of variety in the type of voices, and we've got everybody from a group from Musicale to the Mums of Ballacotia and Ballacapella, which from Ballacameen High School. And now you can speculate on who might be involved in this. We have the Kensington Lane Singers. We have the Fernando Appreciation Society. Now, and they're just to mention but a few. So it is going to be an excellent night of entertainment in the Royal Hall tomorrow, Friday night, from 7 o'clock onwards. If you possibly can, come on down. You will not be disappointed. You can join in and do your own little bit of adjudication. You can listen to the youngsters, listen to the duets and the Cleveland Medal and decide who you would give the honours to. And then this vocal ensemble class to end the evening is going to be a great entertainment. And then, of course, on Saturday night, it's the festival's finest, this great variety show drawn from all the people who have won prizes and a few little extra surprise Chairman's Choice guests. So again, that's going to be a great entertainment on Saturday night. Those 2 nights would in fact give you a huge flavour of the Guild, even if you haven't been down to anything else. So if you possibly can, come along. You will not be disappointed. Now, here's something that is definitely not going to disappoint. It's going to absolutely delight you. If you are a follower of the Guild, you might very well have remembered a young saxophonist who played last year, and he just took our breath away. He was so, so good. So I'm, of course, delighted to see that Joshua Brown would be competing again. He played, he got 90 marks, and all I can say is listen and enjoy Joshua Brown. Ah, that was something special, wasn't it? Great saxophonist Joshua Brown, and an excellent arrangement of Deep Purple. And his accompanist there was Frank Woolley. Won the class with 90 marks. Let me give you some more results for woodwind and instrumental classes today in the Royal Hall. We began the day with the solo classes, the girls' solo voice classes, what we've just been talking about. And then after lunch, it was recorders, tin whistles, and this was up to Year 6. So well done to Celise Vorster, who won that class with 86 marks. And then we had recorder and tin whistle duets for up to Year 6, and that produced a first place for Ailish Crow and Connie McKiernan from the Bunscoil Rumsair, and they were playing whistles. Then in the recorder and tin whistle groups, for again up to Year 6, it was Morown School Recorders who took the top honours there, playing It's Yellow Submarine by the Beatles and It's Me, O Lord, that well-known spiritual, took first place there with 86 marks, so well done to them. Then we went on to instrumental solo for woodwind instruments, and again these have been moved from age to grade so that there isn't the same age restriction. It's if you are working on that appropriate grade, you can enter this class. And again, that this has had the right result. We've had lots more people entering these classes. But it was Lewis Lazeney playing the clarinet who won the class. And Lewis had 86 marks there for the instrumental solo for woodwind, grades 1 to 3. And then we had an instrumental solo described as folk woodwind. And this produced great variety because we had Scottish small pipes, we had bagpipes, Highland bagpipes, Bulgarian bagpipes, so great variety in this class. And a win for Paul Ferns playing bagpipes. He took the class with 87 marks, and John Struthers on Scottish small pipes was just 1 mark behind with 86. These were classes we'll come back to and we'll listen to some music from them. But another class that was for instrumental solo woodwind, this is grades 4 to 5, and the winner was Isha Alapati playing the flute. The piece of music that Isha chose is a Boogie Woogly, and this is how it sounded, accompanied again by Frank Woolley. I thought that was lovely. It really just bounced along, didn't it? That accompanist was Frank Woolley. It was a class-winning performance on flute from Isha Alapati and a Boogie Woogly. Now, let's go back to the children's choirs, the youngsters who were in the Royal Hall this afternoon. Now, the Buchan Falcons boys choir up to school year 6, and they gave us 2 songs to win their class. One was all about the joys of train travel, called Mind the Gap, And this is all about the creatures of the deep. These are the Buchan Falcons. Buchan Falcons taking us there to discover the creatures of the deep, and that was part of their Cloudswinning performance, Young Boys Choir. We're going to hear from the Buchan Doves again in a moment, but let's just catch up on a few results. The duologue for up to Year 6, that's 11-year-olds, that produced a first place with 88 marks for Daisy Maddox and Morgan Braidwood from Stage 1 Drama School. And then we went on to public speaking, and I hope we can include some of this in the programme tomorrow. I don't know how we managed to run out of times. The hour just flies by. I have so much that I want to share with you, and there's always things to carry over to the next programme. But public speaking up to Year 6, well done to Phoebe Elizabeth Davis from the Buchan, who won that class with 88 marks. The duologue for Years 7 and 8, that was won by Amy Block and Darcy Bateson with 86 marks. I believe that the piece that they performed, the duologue, the party, was one that they composed themselves, so well done to them. And public speaking for Years 7 and 8 produced a first place for Hannah Kermode with 87 marks. Hannah's from the Broadway Theatre Company, and she gave an excellent talk. From the three choices, Hannah picked the more we communicate, the less we say. And I was listening to it again. You know, I wasn't able to be in the Promenade Suite when that class was going on. It was yesterday evening, but I was listening to it. It's very clever, and it's definitely one on my list to share with you. Now, let's go back to the Buchan Doves. I said to you that the three young people's choirs in the Royal Hall this afternoon, they were so closely matched. Penny Price-Jones, the adjudicator, said it was just the way that the Buchan Doves sang this one song that just gave them that 1 mark over the other two choirs who came joint second. So it was 88 for Buchan Doves and 87 each for Scoil Valagilt and Ballacottia Girls Choir. We'll definitely be having something from them in the programme tomorrow night. But here we are. This is the song that clinched victory for the Buchan Doves. It's called Firefly.
Shining in the night.
Well done to the Buck and Doves. Let's just finish off with a couple of spoken word results. This is from the Promenade Suite today. Well done to Lola Hornby-Wheeler, who won the spoken word for Year 3 with 87 marks, and Taylor Neen with 88 marks. Taylor goes to Russian Primary School and took first place in spoken word for Year 1. And we're very, very nearly out of time here.
Manx Radio's coverage of the Manx Music Festival is brought to you by SpectrumWindows.im.
I'll be back tomorrow at 10 to 8 with results of tonight's competitions in the Royal Hall. Popping into Women Today tomorrow afternoon, round about 2:30ish, something like that. Then back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, all being well, with more adventures from today at the Guild. This is Judith Lay saying thank you for listening. Wish you a very good night. Evi.